Hello everyone. Assalamualaikum and very good morning. Welcome to FPL Jedi Show Gameweek 6 Deadline stream. It is the deadline day and I'll be alone for today. Azmin could not make it for this deadline stream. But as per normal for the deadline stream, we will run through the team news, the pressure from managers, the transfer traffic that people already looking at is happening, and also my team plan for this week. Hopefully we can run through quickly all the team news. Usually Azmi will do all the research but I will recap all the team news and quotes by manager, and with the help from as you can see here, I've been also following all about FPL Twitter, of which he has do Game Week 6 roundup of injury news and press conference updates. So I will be referring also from this tweet. So okay. There'll be 3 matches that are going to play at the same time, early kickoff, so-called, for Game Week 6. First up is Crystal Palace versus Fulham. It is a London derby. So what the managers has been saying for these matches, for Crystal Palace up, Jordan Ayew and Mark Gill are back in training ahead of the Saturday games against Fulham. We have Jefferson Lemar still out. Ahamada pick up an ankle injury in training this week. So pretty much the usual suspect from Crystal Palace, like Eze, Edward, to an extent also Girl, okay, should play this game. And for Fulham side, Marco Silva has confirmed that Sasa Lukic, Traore and Tosin will miss Game Week 6. That will be a blow for Fulham. In better news, Robinson has been training and could make a return for this week. But pretty much, I feel if you still have Johnston, okay, there's nothing particular news from Crystal Palace side mentioning about Henderson coming in. So pretty much we expect Johnston to continue. And for Fulham, not much of interest. But you can see the Pereira Villian up front there. Maybe Carlos Vinicius starts, or maybe Raul Jimenez. Normally, Raul Jimenez also gonna start for Fulham. So that what transparent from Crystal Palace versus Fulham. Next up is Luton Town versus Wolves. Okay, Luton Town. Rob Edwards, the manager, has been saying Ross Barkley is expected to miss out despite returning to training today. We'll build up towards the Everton game. As the Everton game is actually for next week. Daniel Potts, Jordan Clark, got Gabriel also remain sidelined. Okay, but they also another audience for Luton Town assets before their Game Week 7 double fixture next week. So we shall see. I think Kabore did miss in Game Week 4, but Game Week 5 he did play the whole minutes. So if you still have him, he is still an option to play in Game Week 7. For Wolves, Gary O'Neill said he has no injury worries ahead of the Game Week 6. Okay, this suggests that the injury that forced Nori off was indeed just muscle fatigue. He actually could start again this Game Week 6 because he has been subbed out by Hugo Bruno, okay, the last season player who actually come in for budget enabler. Okay, what else can I pick up here from all about FPL for Luton Town? A Wolves Hodgback in training. Okay. Yep, nothing much that I was going to say there. not much interest of these assets, but Luton Town for sure, we would like to see whether they can perform this week at home against Wolves, a decent side. Man City versus Forest, there'll be more interest, as you all know. Okay, later we touch the Man City asset. Alvarez is one of the one that in demand right now. Okay, so for Man City, I think the big news is actually Bernardo Silva will be out for at least a week, announced by Pep. Jack Grealish has returned to training, but maybe he can play some minutes. We all know, man, maybe it could actually mean nothing to play minutes. Kovacic is nearly back. Stones and KDB still remain out. For Forest, Steve Cooper revealed that Daniel will be out for a few weeks. He will not feature. Aurier is getting closer, but won't take any risk. So means that Aurier should, looks like they're not going to feature. Boli is back in training. So for Man City, the Silva news means that maybe Foden place is very much secure to play this week. And Doku is interesting one coming on the left side. Okay, but Alvarez will be there to play as a main man, replacing KDB on the back. Walker, Diaz, Akanji, Guardiola is the mainstay, but Ake could come in. I will not be surprised if any changes on that side. Guardiola been rested before. Okay, so pretty much Man City should be the same lineup. Not sure, but you know Pep, anything could happen and bring some youngster coming in. That's would be surprised. Forest is still a really stubborn side playing away. I don't think Pep will take this match lightly. Man City has been 100% record so far from 5 wins, so he definitely want to continue to be at the top. All right, let's go to the next match. Brentford versus Everton. Brentford definitely is they lost to 1-0 to Newcastle last week. They want to bounce back for sure. Everton lost 1-0 to Arsenal at home, but they still awful. All right, so Brentford expected to win this game. I think the biggest news from Brentford camp is Rico Henry. Okay, will be out for unknown date to come back. Let me check for Brentford. Yeah, Henry out for long term. Yeah. Now Tony back in training. Okay, but pretty much they are not going to be until January. Okay. Rico Henry has joined Josh Da Silva, Batista, Ivan Tony suspension. Okay, the availability of me also unknown. Okay, but I think the only two players that FPL has been choosing is Mbombo and Bisa at the point, Flecken at to an extent, but they pretty much should be available to play this game week. Everton not so much. Pickford, I think the most that manager is going to play. I think Young and Mykolenko is actually the right side and the left side of fullback. I think that's interest one. Patterson might not come in anytime soon because this is the players that play during the Arsenal game. So pretty much maybe Sonda will keep the players. They still have not getting the result. I think they only got 1 point so far, so they really want some point. But Brentford is still really good side, especially at home. Right. Next, each Burnley versus Manchester United. Burnley will play double game week in game week 7. There'll be an audition, but it's against a tough side, Manchester. But can I say a tough side? Because Manchester also has been losing game in Champions League recently against Bayern Munich. Onana had a howler against the German champion. But what the managers have been saying, Burnley for Burnley, Lyle Foster begins a 3-match ban. Okay. Other than that, Chulinov, Ombafame, Ekdal remain out, and Bayer has been limped out but reported only cramp, so he should be able to play. But unless you're desperate enough to play Bayer, hopefully you have other players to play as your at least your back three. For Ten Hag, he was coy on whether Varane, Mount, Amrabat will feature. Okay, but the tribute is back in training, so there's possibility they're going to start. Harry Maguire could return, but Anthony and Sancho is still one pitcher. Okay, so there's no news on Anthony. I think he's still uh, in Brazil to clear his allegation on personal life. Bisaka has joined Luke Shaw, so he'll be out also. Dalo is predicted to start on the right side, regular on the left side. He actually hit something to monitor if they say the short injury is a long-term one. Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes Mount could come in. Rashford and Hodgland. Hodgland should start again against Burnley. If you still have Bruno and Rashford, this could be the match that could actually deliver, but Manchester United asset has been frustrating, that's for sure. Let's go to the next match. It is a London derby. I think this is easily the biggest match for this week. As you can see on my background, it's actually the Emirates Stadium for Arsenal. Okay, so then Arsenal versus Spurs. Gabriel Martinelli will be assessed. I think the biggest news coming out from Arsenal camp is actually Arsenal news on Martinelli, because he's could be doubtful and Trossard could come in for this game week. Mikel Arteta said he had not decided who will play in the goal, but the predicted line did mention Ramsdale, but Raya has already started back-to-back games against Everton and also the Champions League game. So I think if he starts again against Spurs, people mention about he's a better keeper than Ramsdale. I think moving forward, Raya could actually an option. He's at 4.8 million right now. Okay. Other than that, they should be a mainstay. Jesus could come in back for Nketiah. For Spurs, I think another major news is about Ivan Perisic. It's a new long-term absentee after picking up ACL injury, but not many. A lot of managers are going go there. Like Side and Madison still the popular pick. Destiny, Audugo, and also Romero. And you can see Richardson printed to start up front back, and Son could actually move back on the left side. So that could be a prediction, or maybe Son still remain there at front. I'm not sure about Manuel Solomon's situation. Okay, but he's not inside this team. If let's say he's been declared injured, that's why that Richardson could come in. Let me check it for Spurs. Yep. Nothing on Solomon. Okay, but that's the predicted lineup. Next is Brighton versus Bournemouth. Brighton did lose in Europa League match against the Greek champion Athens, if I'm right. Brighton versus Bournemouth. What De Zerbi has been mentioned, when asked if he will make changes after the Europa League match, he mentioned yes, a lot. So we can see that could actually major changes. I think Pedro starts in the Europe match, but we just won't know. Andigra, Lana, Mitoma, Afran, Welbeck who come in, Ferguson. They really summed up. I think the most popular asset is definitely Estemina and Mitoma. And like I mentioned before, I'm afraid if let's say Mitoma did start again in the Europa League match, if that's the case and Jizubi think Mitoma needs some rest, then this could be the match against Bournemouth, who we expect Brighton to win easily at home. On the Bournemouth side, Iraola reported no new injury, no new on the injury issue. Okay, pretty much they will start the same lineup. As you can see, there's not much interest on Bournemouth asset. Solanke could be the one. Neto has been getting 10 points last week, but we are not going there, right? So other than that, let's go to the next match, Chelsea versus Villa. Did a lot of interest in terms of transfer out. Later we share the Chelsea assets versus Villa. Villa did involved in Europa conference competition. I think they lost that game. For Chelsea, Moses Caicedo will be assessed tomorrow, while Broja could return to the squad, still in rehabilitation. Bob Maduke and Kukurela have returned to training, but other than that, still uh, Benoit, James, Chumeka, Chabla, still close to returning full training. They're not nearing to make into the squad. So a predicted lineup. I think last week Chilwell had been dropped for Modric in this predicted lineup. Chilwell could come in back, but I can say nothing in the press conference or Pochettino mentioned about Chilwell. So that's nothing. But he did mention about Jackson. He needs to be careful in getting yellow cards because Jackson now are on 4 yellow cards. And if he receives another yellow card, he will be suspended for 1 game. And Pochettino has advised Jackson to be careful in getting cheap yellow cards because of dissent. So if a proper one like tackle, maybe he will be okay with it. So he has been talking to Jackson on that, and whether I'm not sure whether that will change people's mind in terms of taking Jackson out for this week. For Aston Villa, we have not heard anything from Emery, but we should expect the same lineup, barring any injury. Right? And did mention that Moreno who come in. He played 25 minutes, I suppose, or Ramsey. I think Ramsey. Yeah. So that's pretty much for Chelsea versus Aston Villa news. Liverpool versus West Ham. Liverpool from Jurgen Klopp. Also, we have not heard anything from him, except that TAA and Thiago were the only 2 absentees. Wydad should return after serving 2-match suspension for Rekat and Dissent. West Ham, David Moyes will assess Jerome. I think Jerome is not the news. If you have him, that he might out because of illness. Aaron Creswell did start last night but felt hamstring though, so Emerson could actually come in for this week because he's actually coming for halftime in the Euro competition. Bowen has had a virus. We need to see how he is. Yep. And for Liverpool, I think Salah did not start, so he should be starting this game back. So pretty much Salah is the one that people are eyeing after 10 points last week. He has no blank so far. And last but not least, Sheffield United versus Newcastle. The last game on Sunday. Yeah. For Sheffield United, Matt Burney will serve one match ban after his red card against Spurs last week. John Egan is fit. And other than that, other players still remain out, especially Tim Baldock, that the enabler that people are getting in bench. But other than that, Archer and Traore. Oh no, Mr. Osula Predator in the lineup. I have him, so he might. Oh, because Will Osula remain sideline. That's why. Okay, all right. And for Newcastle, Eddie Howe confirmed that Joe Willock and Joelinton, did not play in the Champions League. They will be out. I think those stuff should start. But other than that, I think the back 4 should be the mainstay. Trippier, Shah, Botman, Burn. I'm not sure whether they or Eddie Howe want to rotate. He wants to continue from last week wins against Brentford at home 1 year. Gordon on 4 yellow cards. Okay, so he will need to be careful. If he pick up another card, then he'll be suspended the next game. Wilson is predicted to start this game. Trusted, but if you have Isaac, I'm not sure there will be a rotation risk, right? And Barnes instead of Almiron, I'm gonna start this game against Sheffield United. Right, pretty much we already run through all the team news. Let's see the top transfer for Gameweek 6. We have top 2, most definitely, from Man City and Newcastle. Alvarez is the most transfer in for this week, 1.02 million. Okay, and his price has risen up to 6.9 million. So you can see Alvarez coming in for Jackson because the most transfer out is Jackson with 477,000 so far. Botman, Newcastle, a defender. I think if you're wildcarding, that is the popular pick. Bobo continue to pick up uh, attention from managers. His price also rising up to 6.9. If I'm right, what props? Wow, okay. That's an interesting one. Number four, and Salah for sure. I think if you're on wildcard, you definitely pick up Salah. Transfer out the two Chelsea players, Jackson and Chilwell. Okay, Jackson has been processing. Chilwell has been benched last week, and moving forward, he'll be uncertain. I think the 68th minute substitution for the past two games in Game Week 3 and 4 has alerted Chilwell availability or starting lineup. But Chilwell now for sure he's certain to start. That's why those are the top two. I set in the number 3 because now Champions League, Newcastle are in. I said could be rotated to play in Champions League, and Wilson starts in the league. Watkins another one for I believe for Alvarez also, and Martinelli because of his doubtfulness. So those are the transfer traffic for Game Week 6. Alvarez for Jackson is the one that people are looking at and is going to continue to pick up pace. Right, let's go to before my team, Scott picks for Game Week 6. The selection you can see in goal, Flecken starts. Brentford, we have two assets there, Flecken and Bomo. For Man City, triple up, Akanji, Alvarez and Haaland. We have Rashford, representative from Manchester United. We have Salah there. We have Callum Wilson away to Sheffield United. We still have representative from Brighton, Estupiñán against Bournemouth. No Mitoma there. No Welbeck or even Pedro or even Ferguson did not make the cut. We have two Newcastle assets there. And we have representative from Crystal Palace, Eze against Fulham. If let's say Crystal Palace want to pick up anything, Eze will be the talisman for the team for sure. So the inclusion, I think all are reasonable pick for this Game Week 6 for sure. If I want to change, if I have the money, I'll go for Trippier against Sheffield United. Okay, but if let's say you don't have any because you want to fund the likes of Salah, Haaland there, Rashford there, so maybe you go for the cheap one. Akanji, interesting one. If you have the money, Ruben Dias, I think it's more secure, 5.5 million. I'm right, but Akanji is still decent. He has been starting games, so yeah, I think pretty much the headline will be Alvarez playing for Man City this week. Rest assured, we hopefully going to have early team news for Man City if we wait. But that's a traffic for sure. Alvarez come in for Jackson for this week. So for my team, what I'm gonna do for this week, 1.1 million in the bank and only one free transfer. As for now, I'm gonna start Pickford over Turner. In goal, Estupiñán, Gabriel and Chilwell. Okay. For back three, Rashford, Saka, Madison, Bruno, Fernandes, and Bomo against Everton. I have Jackson there. I have Haaland as my captain. On my bench, Kabore, Udogi, and Osula, who declared to be sidelined. So I think I'm going to use my free transfer. It's just whether I'm going to address Chilwell or Jackson. Chelsea asset. I don't think I'm going to take a hit. But I think after reading out Zofa from FPL Wire like article in the Fantasy Football Scout, he mentioned which one should we address first. I think Chilwell is the one because the uncertainty, and you could easily change it for a Newcastle asset because they have decent fixture. Two promoter side, if I'm right. Let me have a quick look. Yep, against Sheffield United, and then Burnley in Game Week 7, and then still decent enough in Game Week 8 for against West Ham United, but it's away. I have the money to replace Chilwell to Trippier. I think that's what enticed me. This is the opportunity. So should I take, because next week is Game Week 7. I most probably, if Jackson still frustrated, I'm going to change it to Morris or even any Burnley uh, attackers before wildcarding, whether in 8, 9, 10. Sooner or later, I'm going to do that. But I think Trippier could be decent. Am I going to worry about rotation? For sure. But after in the midstream, Azmin did share about recovery period. I think they have really good recovery period coming into Sheffield United. In the Newcastle game against Man City in next week, midweek, I think they're gonna rest players against Man City. Then after that, they're gonna play Burnley before PSG game, I think. But both game are at home. They're not gonna travel, so I think pretty much if I'm gonna pick Trippier, he should start. That's my prediction. Okay. Before we wrap up, just want to show on our FPL Jedi League, the number one scorer, top performer right now is Black Hong, because last week, uh, uh, FN Mizan Nordin who actually on top, but Pekong FC under Sunni Sepi is on top right now. He also a Liverpool fan. He's got 58 points, 338 points so far. You can see his team on the right side. Sanchez, yes, Sanchez with 10 points. Saliba 6. Kwanzaa is an interesting one. Liverpool defender. But maybe because Estepino did not start, then Kwanzaa come in for 2 points, but he could easily get Gusto 6 points. Yeah. Piece opportunity, Walker 2 points, Sakas, San, Diaby assist. I think Diaby also an interesting asset if you want to bring in a wildcard this week. Sterling 2 points, Alvarez 9 points, Morris 2 points. He's already set up for Gameweek 7, and Haaland 12 points. So the biggest players from this week for sure, double digit from Sanchez that push that 58 points. Alvarez for sure, right? Then other than that, maybe Diaby to an extent. So if you haven't joined our FPL Jedi League, the code is there, ZA9F60, and join our community. All right. Before we end, just to mention, the Gameweek 6 deadline will be at 8:30 p.m. Malaysian time. Still have plenty time to think, but as you think about getting early news for Man City team news, but we want to be careful. The site has tendency to crash at the last minute when people want to get in and replacing. See if you confirm get Alvarez news. But if I can wait, I will wait for that. If not, then most probably I will bring in Trippier for treatment. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining the Gameweek 6 deadline stream. We shall see you again next week. Have a good weekend, and may the force be with you. Take care, guys. Bye bye.